I love coffee. I drink coffee again and again, which means I often drink coffee. It's a little bit dark, isn't it? What's happening, guys? Now how brothers are here. Welcome to another video tutorial of English grammar. Well, we talked about forming and using present simple, and our last lesson was about time expressions, and we learned how to say when we usually do something, and this time we will learn how to say how often we do things. So it's time to learn adverbs of frequency. Maybe somebody who is watching this video is sitting like this. Hey my friends, listen carefully. We have some adverbs that help us to say how often or how frequently we do something. Well, talking about frequency, I should mention that we have indefinite frequency and definite frequency. An adverb that describes definite frequency is one such as hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. As you can see, they refer to a definite time, and we put them at the end of a sentence. I brush my teeth daily. The second type of adverbs refer to indefinite frequency. As you can guess, an adverb describing indefinite frequency doesn't specify an exact time, and we put such adverbs before the main verb and after the verb to be and after the auxiliary verbs such as can, do, must, and so on. For example, the word usually is one of the adverbs of indefinite frequency, and by saying usually, we don't know the exact time of an activity. I usually put sugar in my coffee. Can we tell the exact time? No, we can't, but we can guess the frequency depending on their frequency rate. For example, we have adverbs such as always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, seldom, never, and they have their rate of frequency. For example, the adverb always has 100% of frequency, which means if we use the adverb always in our speech, we mean that we do that activity at every single moment of a particular time. Let's try some examples. I always run in the morning. So if we have 7 mornings in a week, I do that activity 7 times in a week. That means 100% of frequency.
Shut up, you stupid! We know what it is.
Okay, sorry. Next one is usually. So the adverb usually has 75% of frequency. Paul doesn't usually eat out on Sundays. He usually eats at home on Sundays. Next one is often. So the adverb often has 50% of frequency. Peter often visits his grandparents at the weekend. Most people think that often has more frequency than the adverb usually because it sounds like that. In fact, we use usually with more frequent actions. So our next adverb is sometimes. The adverb sometimes has 25% of frequency we use sometimes with less frequent actions. For example, I sometimes play Grand Theft Auto. Rarely and seldom. Both of them have the same frequency rate, 10%. Listen carefully, the adverbs rarely and seldom have a negative meaning. That's why we don't use them with the word not. For example, he rarely goes to the cinema, and she seldom watches TV. These sentences have a negative meaning even if there is no word not. Next one is never. The adverb never has 0% of frequency. It has no frequency. We use never with the activities that don't happen. We don't need the word not when we use never because it also has a negative meaning. For example, Bob never wakes up early in the morning. That's all. I have nothing to teach. Goodbye.